So this morning I was on Twitter and I saw a tweet come out from an ESPN reporter by the names of Jonathan Givony, and he said that there are multiple teams that are interested in trading up in this year's draft to select LaMelo Ball first overall. He said, quote, "Some popular picks among executives to make such a move for LaMelo Ball at number 1 include the Chicago Bulls, Detroit Pistons, and the Oklahoma City Thunder." Now this is interesting because the Chicago Bulls and Pistons both have a top pick in this year's draft, but OKC does not. Their pick is somewhere in the mid-20s, but they also have a bazillion picks, future picks that is, and Chris Paul, who is on the trade block. Now obviously OKC doesn't necessarily need to move Chris Paul, but right now he's 35 years old and making $41 million on his contract. But this is the most they're going to be able to get out of him right now, because we just saw him carry OKC. Well, I shouldn't say carry, but lead this OKC team to a playoff spot and into 7 games against the championship caliber team in the Houston Rockets. Another thing that Chris Paul really did well for this OKC franchise was help develop young players such as Darius Bazley, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Luguentz Dort. Now, all 3 of those guys just had really, really good rookie or sophomore years, and I think that Chris Paul could definitely do the same thing to young guys on the Minnesota Timberwolves, such as Jarrett Culver, and potentially what they could draft in this year's draft. Now, the trade that I drew up for both sides is that the Timberwolves are going to receive Chris Paul, Terrence Ferguson, 4 first-round draft picks, and a second-round draft pick. And in return, Oklahoma City is going to be getting the first overall pick, which they're most likely going to select LaMelo Ball. That's the whole point of this video. James Johnson, who has a player option that he is going to either accept or decline, but if you're James Johnson making $60 million a year, you're most likely going to accept that. And then Evan Turner, who is a unrestricted free agent who they have to bring back just to make the salaries work. The picks that the Timberwolves are going to be getting is this year's Oklahoma City pick, which is via Denver, next year's first-round pick from OKC, 2024 first-round pick from OKC, this year's second-round pick, and a 2021 Miami and Houston pick swap. So the Timberwolves will definitely still be set for the future if they have 4 first-round picks, and they'll have 1 this year who they can draft the power forward at that slot, because that's what they need. At the moment, if they were to accept this trade, they would run a starting lineup of Chris Paul, D'Angelo Russell at the shooting guard position, Jarrett Culver at the 3. My bet is they would either sign a player to the veteran minimum or the mid-level exception, or draft a player with that OKC pick in the mid-20s to run their 4 slot, and then Karl-Anthony Towns at the 5. And then for OKC, on the other hand, they would run LaMelo Ball at the 1 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the 2. That would be a really, really good young, lethal backcourt for the now and for the future. Both of them, I think, could just explode right off the rip and just be a really, really fun to watch backcourt. And then obviously at the 3, they would either run Luguentz Dort or Darius Bazley, depending on which one they wanted to start over each other. Danilo Gallinari is a restricted free agent. He can come back if he wants to, and I think he will. But for the sake of this video, we're going to say he is, so he's going to be running the 4. If he doesn't resign, then Darius Bazley will run that 4 slot. And then at the center position, Steven Adams. And obviously, all this stuff can or cannot happen depending on what other moves, but again, for the sake of this video, we're just going to say that that is their starting lineup to start the season on the 22nd or whenever their first game is going to be. And then off the bench, they're still going to have key players in Dennis Schroeder, Nerlens Noel if he wants to come back, and then either Lou Dort or Darius Bazley if neither of them are starting. Now, I think the Timberwolves definitely win this trade for the sake that they are going to have a great veteran point guard in Chris Paul. He is making $41 million again. He has 2 more years left on his contract, however, but I think they could definitely get the most out of him if they want to win now. However, they could still play for the future as they're getting 4 first-round picks in return, a young player in Terrence Ferguson, whose defense is unreal. He has a nice athletic body. He can finish great at the rim. He can knock down, catch and shoot threes, and I think he is one of the most underrated defenders in the league. OKC, on the other hand, they would look really good for the future. Obviously, they are trading away 4 first-round picks, which isn't amazing, but they have a lot of picks that they might as well take advantage of from last year's trades between Russell Westbrook and Paul George. So instead of using those picks yourself, you might as well trade them away to other teams to draft players or trade for players that can help you win now. And I think that's what they're going to be doing. Obviously, their 2 main pieces on this team moving forward would then be LaMelo Ball and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They would be a little bit weak still at the 3 spot. Lou Dort and Darius Bazley are definitely have really high upside, but we really just don't know how good they are going to be. Same with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and LaMelo Ball. That's why I think it's a risky trade. But Sam Presti definitely should pull the trigger on this trade if he really wants to. Same with the Timberwolves GM. I think both of them, if they have the opportunity to make this trade, I think both of them will accept it. Obviously, on the screen it says the Timberwolves have a plus 24 increase in wins, and I think they're going to have a lot more than that, to be honest with you. Chris Paul, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl-Anthony Towns. All 3 of them lethal offensive scorers, not the best defensive players. Chris Paul definitely can get steals here and there, lock up the point guard position. But besides that, their offense is going to be very, very good. Their defense is not going to be amazing, however. I think they are going to want to bring in some older veteran guys to come off the bench and get defensive stops when they need to. OKC, on the other hand, their defensive backcourt is not going to look amazing either. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not a terrible defender, but he is definitely not your first option when it comes to defense. And LaMelo Ball, we all know, is, again, not one of the best defenders in the league or has ever really been the best defender. But offensively, those guys are really gifted, and it would be a really fun to watch backcourt. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. First, I need to give a huge shout out to Frankie Vision for the visuals for this video. He put together a really nice LaMelo Ball NBL highlights, so go check out that video. It's in the description. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this little short video talking about the future of the NBA, let me know if you want to see more. I enjoyed making this video. If you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Also, if you made it to this part of the video, let me know what you think the Timberwolves should do with their first overall pick. Personally, I think they are going to make this trade with OKC, but if you don't, let me know. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you later.